Hello everyone, welcome to another video for CFA Level 1. In today's video, we will be doing a small portion of risk and return part 1 in portfolio management, and this will be the last portion. With this, we will be completing the entire chapter of risk and return part 1. Okay, the name of the topic is Minimum Variance Portfolio. I mean, Efficient Frontier. Very easy topic. Nothing new. You already know everything. Just a couple of new terms which we need to understand over here, and then we are good to go. Okay. So we will understand two terms over here. One is the minimum variance portfolio. The other is the efficient frontier. Okay. For minimum variance, as the name suggests, what is variance? We all know variance stands for risk, correct? Minimum variance portfolio. So what is minimum variance portfolio? In its actual term, it is minimum risk portfolio, correct? But what minimum risk? With respect to what? Whenever we are talking or whenever we are understanding these terms, we need to understand in relation to what, because these are relative terms. So minimum risk portfolio is always seen in relation to the expected return. Okay, so minimum variance portfolios are those portfolios. Now we come to the definition and trying to understand what are minimum variance portfolios. Minimum variance portfolios are those portfolios that have the minimum risk at the expected return level. Okay, so what does it mean? Okay, so basically it means that there are three suppose there are five portfolio. Okay, portfolio A, portfolio B, portfolio C, portfolio D, and portfolio E. Okay, five portfolios. Suppose the risk or the war is given as 5 units, 5 units, 5 units, 6 units, and 5 units. Okay. Suppose the return or the expected return is 10%, 12%, 11%, 10%, 9%. Okay. So in this entire table, what we have to see? We have to see the minimum risk at an expected level of return. Okay. Now, how many portfolios over here? How many portfolios over here have the same return? Portfolio PA, correct? And PD have same return, correct? Same expected level of return, correct? Are we clear? But out of PA and PD, where is the variance lower? The variance is lower for PA. Okay. Now considering that the entire universe of investment is this only, means the entire population is this. In this situation, what we will say, PA is a minimum variance portfolio. Why? Because at the given level of return, which is 10%, at the given level of return, which is 10%, PA had the minimum variance or the minimum risk. Are we clear? Guys, are we clear? When it is seen on a graph, when we draw it on a graph, it looks like this. Okay. This is the minimum variance portfolio graph. Now over here, if you will notice one thing, For every level of return, for every level of return, there is only one risk point. So, for example, if you consider return at point A, there is only one possible risk situation. Similarly, if you consider point B, there is only one possible risk situation. Why? The reason for this is that we have selected minimum risk for a portfolio for a given return expectation. Okay. So, for example, if the expectation of return is A, then at this point, we will have the minimum risk. Let us mark it as RA. Okay. So, if the return expectation is A, the minimum risk for the portfolio can be RA. Similarly, if the return expectation is B, the minimum risk can be RB. So, what does it say? In one line, you have to say this graph will show the best possible risk scenario that you can achieve for a given return expectation, which means that if you want to earn A or B, if you want to earn A or B, the minimum risks that you need to take will be RA or RB. Okay. So what I'm saying, I'll repeat it again. If you want to earn return A or B, the minimum risk that you will need to take is RA or RB. So if you expect that you take a risk which is lower than RA or RB and earn a return of A and B, it is not possible. Why? Because we are already at the minimum variance portfolio. Are we clear? Guys, I hope this is making sense to you. Guys, now we come to efficient frontier. What is efficient frontier? Efficient frontier is exactly opposite of minimum variance. What was minimum variance? Minimum variance was the risk is minimum, return is constant. Okay. Now what will be the opposite of this? Here risk will be constant, but the return will be maximum. Okay. So what is efficient frontier? What is efficient frontier? Maximum return for a given risk level. Okay. See, you need to understand. Okay. How will the graph of efficient frontier looks like? If I draw a minimum variance portfolio like this, okay, you will see at each risk level, you will see at each risk level, we are getting two returns, R1, R2 at each risk level. If you see at each risk level, similarly like this, okay, at each risk level, we are getting two return. Yes or no, guys? Now just read the definition carefully. What is efficient frontier? Efficient frontier means maximum return for a given level of risk. So over here, your for example, for sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3, sigma 4, sigma 5, sigma 6. Okay. Now let us take an example. For sigma 1, what will be the maximum return? For sigma 1, since there is only one point, this is a tangency. R8 is a tangency. The maximum return will be the tangency itself. So R8. For sigma 2, what is the maximum return? This or this? Definitely R7 is the maximum return. For sigma 3, what is the maximum return? R6 or the below one? Definitely R6. Similarly, for sigma 6, what is the maximum return? R1 or R2? Definitely R1. Can we say that, so given this entire situation, can we say that out of the entire given minimum variance portfolio, the top half till the point of tangency, the top half till the point of tangency is also the efficient frontier? Can we say the top half of the minimum variance portfolio is also the efficient frontier? Guys, guys. So additionally, can we say any portfolio which lies below the minimum variance portfolios, like the one which I'm drawing through dots, are inefficient portfolios because they are below the inefficient portfolios? Why? Because if we take this point only, for this point we are taking sigma 1 as the risk, but we can earn more return. This is the delta of return that we can earn. Guys, this is the delta of return which we can earn. So can we say this point is an inefficient point? Perfect. The last piece that we need to understand is the concept of global minimum variance portfolio. What is global minimum variance portfolio? Global minimum variance portfolio is that portfolio which has the lowest risk. See, global minimum variance portfolio means out of the entire globe, out of the entire population, the one with the lowest risk is the global minimum variance portfolio. So, the point of tangency or the last portfolio on the efficient frontier or the point of tangency is the global minimum variance portfolio. Why? Because you have a portfolio, because you have no portfolio which has a risk lower than the portfolio which stands on this tangency. Are we clear? Guys, are we clear? You have a portfolio which has a risk which is lowest, and there is no portfolio with a risk which is lower than this uh, point of tangency. Are we clear? So this is known as the global minimum variance portfolio. See, this is what we have studied. Now we will just read once what we have studied and we are through. This was a small concept. Okay. Minimum variance portfolio. It is the portfolio that has the lowest standard deviation with a given level of expected return. What is lowest standard deviation? Lowest standard deviation is nothing but lowest risk. Okay. And a combination of them makes up the minimum variance frontier. What is minimum variance frontier? This is the minimum variance frontier. Okay. It is a curve that passes through all the portfolios that have the least risk for a given level of return. What is this? This is a curve that passes through all the portfolio with the least risk. Okay. It is the portfolio that has the greatest expected return for each level of risk, efficient frontier. It contains all the portfolios of a risky asset that a rational risk-averse investor will choose. It is important to note that the efficient frontier comprises of portfolios having the same asset class. However, only the weights of each asset class differ. See, this is important to understand. What is efficient frontier saying is that when you are comparing portfolios in an efficient frontier, the asset class will remain the same. Okay. So, for example, we have this packet A. Okay. Now, what efficient frontier is saying is that within the packet, the contents will be same. For example, security A and security B. This security A and security B will be the same, but the weight of each of the component in the packet can vary. For example, SA and SB. SB can be higher, SA can be lower. They can be equal or SA can be higher. But this SA and SB will never change to SA and SC or SP and SD. Correct? The content of the packet will remain the same. Whenever we are talking about the efficient frontier, the contents of the packet remain same. See, it is important to note that efficient frontier comprises of portfolios having same asset class. See, having the same asset class. What is same asset class? Nothing but contents of the packet. Are we clear? Then the last thing that we need to study is the global minimum variance portfolio. The portfolio on the efficient frontier that has the least risk. This is the point of tangency, the least risk. It indicates that investor cannot hold a portfolio consisting of a risky asset that has a risk less than the global minimum variance portfolio. Again, same thing. There can be no portfolio. There can be absolutely no portfolio with a risk which is lower than this point of tangency. Are we clear, guys? I hope you would have understand this topic. Very easy topic, nothing much to read. With this, we have completed our entire reading. We have completed our entire reading of portfolio risk and return part 1. In the next video, we will start with portfolio risk and return part 2. Happy studying.